Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of Java Programming Bootcamp powered by EdSpread. So let's get started. So today we are going to discuss about operators in Java. So what is an operator? Now an operator is a symbol which is used to perform operations according to the requirement of the user or programmer. That is, we can perform operations on variables and values. So let's discuss the types of operators in Java in detail. And in this video, we are going to discuss about arithmetic operators, assignment operators, relational or comparison operators, logical operators, and unary operators in detail. So let's get started. First, let's open our Eclipse IDE and let's create a new project. So, and let's name our project as day 2 and make sure you select this use default and click on finish. And it's asking whether to create a module or not, but I'm not interested in creating a module, so I'm clicking on don't create. So when we double click on this and when we double click on source folder, nothing is being opened. So for we need to create a package. Right click on source and select new and then create a package. The package is same as the project name, so day 2, and let's finish. And when we double click on package, nothing is being displayed. So what we will do is we will create a new class where we'll write our code. That is, right click on package and select new and then create a class, and let's name our class as day2 underscore operators, and make sure that the first letter of the class name should be an uppercase letter. And let's select this public static void main, that is the main method, and click on finish. So here we'll be writing our code, and this is the package we created, that is day 2, and this is the class name, that is day2 underscore operators, and this is the public static void main method, and here we will be writing our code. So let's first discuss about arithmetic operator. That is, so now what is an arithmetic operator? Like it is used to add some, like it is used to add something or subtract something, and it is mainly used for performing arithmetic operations on numbers, not numbers, that is the variables and data types. So that is plus, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, which is denoted by asterisk symbol, and division, that is denoted by forward slash, are some of the arithmetic operators. So now let's declare two variables of int data type and perform different arithmetic operations on them. Let's assign 10 to the a value, that is a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 5. And first let's perform addition. We are printing, that is, and let's execute this. So 10 plus 5 is 105? No, right? So here why 105 is printed, because we didn't perform addition in brackets. So the compiler assumed a and b as strings, and it performed string concatenation here. So that's why if you suppose now if you put a plus b in brackets and if you perform addition again and execute it, 10 plus 5, 15 is being printed. So let's write here in comments that we performed addition. So now let's perform subtraction. Again, make sure to put this in brackets, a minus b. And if you execute this, addition is 15, that is 10 plus 5 is 15, and 10 minus 5 subtraction is 5. And now let's perform addition. I mean multiplication. Let's write it as product, and let's execute this. 10 into 5 is 50, so product is being printed. So let's perform division here. And let's execute this. So 10 by 5 is 2. So these are some of the basic arithmetic operators. So now let's discuss about assignment operators. So let's comment this here and write assignment operators. So what are assignment operators? So assignment operators are nothing but they're used to assign values to variables. Like for example, if we declare a variable age of int data type and we are assigning a value to it, like int data type and age is equals to 5. So we assigned 5 to the variable age. So is equal to here is known as an assignment operator. So is equals to plus is equals to minus equal to star equal to, that is addition, multiplication, and slash equal to are some of the assignment operators in Java. And assume that your age is 5 in the year 2021, that is the current year, and you want to know the age or like and you want to know your age in 2022. So what you can do is that you can add 1 to your age or and get the result, or you can use the plus equal to assignment operator to get the age for the year 2022. So let's print out age using plus equal to operator is equal to age plus equal to 1. That is, let's execute this. So 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, let's write. So it would be clear now. So that age using plus equal to operator for the year 2022 is 6. So basically plus equal to is nothing but age plus equal to 1 is nothing but age is equals to age plus 1. That's it. And by using the same method, you wanted to know your age after 5 years. So that is 5 in 1 second. Sorry, not 5 years. That is, now let's assume that your father's age is 5 times your age. Now what can you do here is that you can multiply your age with 5 or and directly get the answer, or you can use the star equal to operator and get the result. So let's use the star equal to operator and get the result here. Let's type father's age from father's age is 1 second. So father's age is 30 now. So your age is 5 and 5 into 5 is 30? No, right. So what happened here is We use the plus equal to operator here, as that is the assignment operator, to get your age for the year 2022, right? So what happened was your father's age for the year 2022 got printed. So now let's comment out this line, and let's execute the program again, and you will get the answer 25. That is, your age is 5 and your father's age is 5 times your age, that is 5 into 5, 25. So now let's discuss about relational operators in Java. And first let's create a new class and name it as day2 underscore operators 2. Make sure that that is the first letter is a capital letter, and make sure to include this public static void main and click on finish. So here a new class is created with the class name day2 operators 2, and the package name is still day2. So let's discuss about relational or comparison operators in Java. So now what is a relational operator? So basically relational operators are the operators which are used to check the relation between two operands. And some of the relational operators are double equal to. It checks whether one operand is equal to another or not. If it is equal, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. And the other relational or comparison operator is not equal to. That is, it checks whether one operator is not equal to another or not. If it is not equal, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. And another one is less than. That is, if the compiler checks whether this operator checks whether one operand is less than the other or not. If it is less than the other operand, it returns true, else it returns false. And the same with greater than relational operator. That is, it checks whether one operand is greater than other or not. If it is greater, it returns true. Otherwise, if it is less, it will return false. So here all boolean values will be returned, either true or false. So now let's discuss in detail about relational or comparison operators. So first let's create two variables a and b of integer data type a comma b. So and let a is equals to 10 again and b is equals to 5. So now let's keep on printing this. First let's print a is equal to b, and let's print out answer here. And we will get false. Is a equal to b, is 10 equal to 5? It is comparing basically. So is 10 is not equal to 5. So that's why it is returning a boolean value, that is false. And now let's print out a is not equal to b. So here true will be printed. So here we got an error because I didn't concatenate this. I forgot to concatenate. So here I got an error. Now I won't be getting an error. So a is not equal to b. 10 is not equal to 5. That is true. So if you see here, all boolean values are being returned. And now let's check whether 10 is greater than 5 or not. Let's concatenate and a greater than b. And let's execute it and we will get true, because 10 is greater than 5. Same with a is less than b. And let's concatenate this and a less than b. And we will get false, because 10 is not less than 5. It is greater than 5. So mostly the relational operators are used in decision making, that is the conditionals and loops. That is the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. And now let's jump ahead to logical operators. So logical operators are also used to check whether an expression is true or false, and they are also used in decision making. And basically there are three types of logical operators, that is logical AND, that is represented by two and logical OR, that is represented by this, and logical NOT. Logical NOT is represented by this. First NOT and then some conditions. So now let's discuss the usage of logical AND operator. So here we are not printing, like we are not declaring any variables, and we are just printing this, and we are comparing here like 3 greater than 5, and we are using logical AND 4 greater than 5. So here we will get false. Once again, let's put this in a comment so we won't get confused. Now let's execute this. So we will get false. Because 3 is not greater than 5, 3 is less than 5, and 4 is also less than 5. Suppose if we print 3 is less than 5 and 4 is greater than 5. Let's execute this. Now also false is being printed. So here why false is being printed if 3 is less than 5, even though one value is correct, because logical AND operator evaluates to true only when both expression 1, this is expression 1 and this is expression 2, both the expression evaluate to true, means logical operator will evaluate, logical AND operator will evaluate to true. Now let's demonstrate that also. That is 3 is less than 5 and 4 is also less than 5. Now it evaluates to true. First one was false, second one was also false. Here both 3 is less than 5 and 4 is also less than 5. So both are evaluating to true, so that is also evaluating to true. So now let's discuss and demonstrate logical OR operator. First let's write here a comment that so here also we are printing the console and we are comparing, like 5 is greater than 10 or 3 is less than 5. And let's print here. So here it is evaluating to true, that is 5 is greater than 10, no, 5 is less than 10, and 3 is less than 5, yes, 3 is less than 5. So here what logical OR operator is doing is that even if one condition is true, that is even if one expression is true, it is evaluating to true, that is 5 is greater than 10 is false and 3 is less than 5 is true. So what it's doing is it's taking 3 is less than 5 and it is evaluating to true. Now what if both the expressions are true, that is 3 is less than 5 or 1 is less than 10. If both are true also, it is evaluating to true. So now what if both are false, that is 3 is greater than 100 or 1 is greater than 99. So if you execute this, first we will get false because one expression is also not true. 3 is greater than 100, 3 is not greater than 100. And 1 is greater than 99? No, 1 is less than 99. So both are false, so it is evaluating to false. Remember that in logical AND operator, if both the expressions are evaluating true, then only it is returning true. Otherwise, it is returning false. Like even if one expression is true, it is returning false. But in case of logical OR operator, what is happening is even if one expression is evaluating to true also, it is returning true. Like 3 here in this case, 3 is less than 5, it is evaluating to true, and 5 is greater than 10, that is it is false, that is evaluating to false. So 3 is less than 5 is being returned, that is true is being returned. So now let's discuss about logical not operator. The not is represented by this symbol, and now we are printing something to the screen, that is not 10 equal to 20. So here true will be printed. That is the last one. Let's put these all also in comments. So now let's execute that, and here the whole program is in comments. So except this thing, except this print statement. So here we are getting true. So here why we are getting true is that logical not is operating like it it returns true when the expression is false. That is 10 is equal to 20, it is false. So it is returning true. And what if the expression is true? That is not 20 equal to 20. If the expression is true, it is returning false. And if expression is false, it is returning true. So it is kind of confusing, but let me repeat this once again. So logical not is returning true if expression is false. That is 10 is equal to 20. No, 10 is not equal to 20. 10 is less than 20. So it is returning true when expression is false, and it is returning false when expression is true. That is 20 equal to 20. 20 is equal to 20, but it is returning false because the expression is false. So now let's discuss about unary operators. So now unary operators are used with only one operand. Like for example, plus plus minus minus is also like these both are unary operators. So they increase the value by 1 and decrease the value by 1 respectively. Like there are more types of unary operators, but in this video specifically we are going to discuss about the increment and decrement operators. So let's declare a variable a of int data, that is int a is equals to, and assign it to the value 20. Okay, and now let's print out to the screen saying value of a initially, and let's put this program also in the comments so that we won't get confused. So value of a initially is 20. Now let's use the increment operator. That is 21. So it got increased with 1. And now let's do the same thing with decrement. Let's use the decrement operator. let's execute the program. So initially the value was 20, and after increment the value is 21, so a is still 21. Now after decrement the value got decreased to 20. So what if we put this into comments? If you put this into comments and execute it, so the value of a initially is 20, and after decrement it got decreased to 19. So increment and decrement operators increase the value by and decrease the value by one respectively. And now let's discuss about string methods in Java, like different types of string methods in Java. So now let's create a new class, that is new class, and name it as day2 underscore string methods. Make sure the first letter of the class is capital, that is an uppercase letter, and include public static void main, because these both are very important. So here day2 string methods class is created, and now we are going to write a code here. There are many string methods in Java, but in this video we are going to discuss how to check the length of the string, and how to make a string into uppercase letter, all the letters of the string into an uppercase letter, and how to how to convert all the letters of a string into lowercase letters, and how to concatenate one or more strings. So now let's import the scanner class from the util package by typing import java.util.scanner. Make sure that scanner's S is a capital letter, and here we need to create scanner object is input. We are creating it with the help of a new keyword in scanner, and we are passing system.in with capital S. That is input. So now we are declaring a string name is equals to input dot next line with capital letter. Before that, let's print something like enter your name, and let's print out the input again, that is your name is name. My name is Edspread, so your name is Edspread is being printed. So now let us learn how to check the length of the string, that is, let's write in comments. So we are printing out your name's length is, we're concatenating, and we're printing out name dot length function, and let's execute this. Now it asks me my name, so I'm writing Edspread, and there are my name's length is 8, as there are 8 characters in the word Edspread. Now let's learn how to convert all your letters of a name into uppercase letter. That is, so we are printing out let's type name in is name dot to uppercase. So let's execute the program and it asks my name. So I give spread and my name is spread and the length is 8 because there are 8 letters in the word spread, and the name in uppercase letters is looks like this, like all are in uppercase. Now let's learn how to convert into lowercase. And let's invoke the to lowercase method and let's print this. Let's execute this. So my name, let's give it in uppercase letters, that is spread, and my name is spread in uppercase letters, and my name's length is 8, that is spread has 8 letters, and name in uppercase letter is same, and name in lowercase letter. The input I took in, like I gave my input as uppercase letters and now it is printing as lowercase letters here because I invoked two lowercase method here. So now let's learn how to concatenate strings using dot concat method. So let's print something sys out. Sorry, let's remove this comment. Now let's print sys out your name after, let's concatenate high. That is, we're concatenating name dot concat. This is a method and we are concatenating high and closing. So now let's execute this and the name is spread and the length is 8. Name in uppercase letters is this in all caps and name in lowercase letters is this. Your name after concatenating high to the input looks like this, spread high without a space. So you need to give a space here. That is, and now let's execute this. Now again let's give input spread. Length of name is 8 and in uppercase it looks like this, lowercase. After concatenating high it prints spread high now because we gave a space here. Now let's discuss some of the standard problems. So our first question is calculating the sum of two numbers by taking the input from the user and printing it. So first let's create a new class. Right click on package and select new and then click on class and name our class. Let's name our class as day2 underscore sum and make sure that the class name's first letter, that is D, is an uppercase letter, and make sure that you include this public static void main method and let's create a class. So here our class is created with the name day2 sum, day2 underscore sum, and here we will be writing our code. So the name of the program is sum of two numbers by taking the input from the user and displaying it. So as we need to take the input from the user, first we need to import the scanner class which is available in the util package. So import java.util.scanner. Make sure that scanner's S is a capital letter, that is an uppercase letter. And now let's create an object. Scanner input is equals to new scanner system.in. Like we are passing input in the parameter. And now let's declare two variables. Int a is equals to input, that is the object name, dot next int, that is the method available in the scanner to take input from an integer. And let's declare another variable b and of int data type, and let's take input dot next int method. And before that, let's print this on the screen. Enter the value of a. And let's print here also, because the code executes line by line. So let's print here. And let's declare another variable, sum is equals to a plus b. And let's print the sum is, it's concatenating like this, sum. And let's execute this. So first it is asking to enter the value of a, that is value of a, suppose we want to enter 23, and now it's asking the value of b. Now let's say 7, and now if we hit enter, the sum is 30. It's showing the sum is 30, that is 23 plus 7 is 30. So to approach this problem, first we are importing the scanner package that is available in the scanner class, that is available in the util package. So, and then we are creating an object named input with the help of new keyword, and we are printing enter the a value to the console. And here we are declaring a variable a, and we are taking the help of the object name, and we are accessing the next int method which is available in the scanner class. And then again we are printing in the console by asking the value of b, and then we are declaring another variable b, and with the help of object name, and we are accessing uh, next int method which is there in the scanner class by the help of dot operator, and we are declaring another variable sum with the help of of int data type, and we are adding a and b. So if I, and again we are printing the sum. So that's it. And now we are done with our first question. So now let's go ahead with the second question, that is how to calculate the area of a triangle with the help of user input. That is by taking the length and breadth from the user. So first let's create a class. Right click on packaging, click on select new, and then click class, and day2 underscore triangle, and let's include this public static void main method, and make sure that the d of the first letter of the name of the class is an uppercase letter, and click on finish. So let's write our code here. Calculate the area of a triangle with the help length and breadth from the user. So first, by taking the, as soon as we see that input from the user, we need to import this scanner class which is available in the util package. So import java.util.scanner, and make sure that scanner's s is a capital letter, otherwise you'll get an error. So now we'll create an object, that is scanner input is equals to new scanner system.in, and let's declare a variable length of double data type, that is double length is equals to input dot next double, which is a method in scanner package to take input from the floating point, that is decimal numbers. And again we are declaring a variable that is breadth. Sorry, we will be taking, like, as the area of triangles formula is half into base into height, we will be taking base and height. Height is equals to input dot next double, and we will take we'll declare one more variable, that is area of double data type is equals to, that is base into height divided by 2, and let's print it to the screen. So before that, let's print here enter the height. So let's write the formula of area of triangle here so that we won't get confused. Half into base into height. So now let's execute this program. So now it's asking to enter the base, so I'm entering 5, and let's enter the height also 5. So half into base into height, that is 5 into 5 divided by 2, 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. So this is the area of a triangle. So in this program, what we are doing is that as soon as we saw this word, that is this sentence, by taking length and breadth from the user, that is, we have to take input from the user, that is length and breadth. So we are importing the scanner package, which is a scanner class, which is available in the util package in Java. So now with the help of new keyword, we are creating an object named input, and then here we are just printing, like, enter the base, and here we declared a variable base of double data type, and we are invoking the method which is available in the scanner class named next double. Make sure that doubles D is a capital letter, and the same thing we are doing here, that is we are printing to the console to say, like, enter the height, and here we declared a variable that is height of double data type, and we are invoking the function again with the help of dot operator. Next double is a function available in scanner class of util package, and now here we declared a variable area, uh, of double data type, that is, and assigned it to the formula of area of triangle, which is half into base into height, that is base into height divided by 2, that is nothing but base into height divided by 2. So, and we are printing out to the screen the area of the triangle is area. Let's execute one more time. Let's type base as 7 and height as 2, that is 7 to the 14 divided by 2, that is 7. So that's it for today, and there are some homework questions. You can try it out, and I'll try and show it to you tomorrow. Like, I will share the solutions, that is in the day 3. So these are the homework questions, that is the area of a circle. The logic is same, but you need to apply the formula, that is pi r square, and you'll get the area. And this is something new, that is sum of natural numbers from 1 to n, and swap two numbers. This is also a homework question. So try it out, and I'll try to share the solutions of these 3 questions tomorrow. So let me recap what we all learned today. So first we learned about operators in Java, that is what are operators and different types of operators like arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are like used to perform arithmetic operators, arithmetic operations, that is plus, minus, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division. And assignment operators are the operators that is to they are used to assign something, that is equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to. And make sure and keep in mind that plus is equals to is same as a plus equal to 10 is same as a is equals to a plus 10. And now we discussed about relational and comparison operators, that compare they are used to compare some expressions, that is they are double equal to, not equal to, and greater than equal to, less than or equal to, greater than, less than, and many more. And they only return boolean values. So, and next we discussed about logical operators, that is like they're used to check whether the condition, like the expressions, are true or false. Like suppose there are three different types of logical operators, that is logical and, logical or, and logical not. So here logical and returns true if both the expressions are true, and logical or returns true if at least one expression is true, and logical not returns true if expression is evaluated to false, and return false if expression is true, that is vice versa. And we discussed about unary operators, that is they are used only with one operand, that is a plus, a plus plus, that is decrement and increment operators. We only discussed about increment and decrement operators in this video, and increment means increasing by 1 and decreasing means decreasing by 1. And we discussed a few problems, and we discussed some string methods in Java, that is how to check the length of a string, how to convert all letters of a string to uppercase, and how to convert all the letters of a string to lowercase letter, and how to concatenate two strings with dot concat method. And finally we discussed two problems, and make sure you try out these the rest three problems, that is the homework given to you, and I'll discuss the solutions of these three questions tomorrow. So that's it for today, and thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.